Hello everybody and welcome back to the Everton FC26 career mode. In this series, it's my goal to turn Merseyside blue, bring Everton back on top of English football, as well as putting them on top of European football. Lads, thank you so much for the support on the series so far. Last week we did an episode every day from Monday to Friday. Really glad to see that people are enjoying this series so far, and I'm very excited in this episode to make some transfers. We did turn off the summer transfer window, but now we are here in January, and there are definitely some areas we need to improve on in this squad. Also as well, lads, at the end of this video, I will be addressing some comments and messages I've received recently about a series that we did in FC25. If you are a regular on the channel, you'll probably already know what I'm talking about, but if you do want to hear me address those comments, then please stick around until the end of this episode. But now, let's focus on some transfer business. So since the last episode, James Garner has left the club. Eric Bunham slots into that CDM role, and I really am a big fan of his. I think he is quite a handy player to have. 22 years old, 75 rated, definitely no slouch, but I would like to get an improvement in that area and have Eric Bunham as the backup, because Gay here on the bench will be retiring at the end of the season, and I would like to get a replacement in sooner rather than later. We're also going to be going for a new starting right back. Patterson is quite a decent player, and I'm happy to have him as an option, but Seamus Coleman, just like Gay, is going to be retiring at the end of the season, and he's currently only at a 67 overall. Mikolenko, I'm quite happy with at left back, but I do think we need a backup option there. Asnu, decent, but I feel like he would really strongly benefit from a loan move, so we will be looking to loan him out. And also I will be looking at getting a backup centre back. Jared Branthwaite and O'Brien, of course, are the two men that start there. Tarkovsky, I'm happy to keep him until the summer as a backup right centre back, but Michael Keane, I think it's time for him to move on, especially whilst he still has some value. So I have actually transfer listed him, and we will be looking into bring in a backup left centre back in case anything happens to Jared Branthwaite. So without further ado, let's go over to the shortlist and let me show you the players I think I am going to sign in this episode. And the only reason I say I think is because there's one or two players who I'm a little bit undecided on. But without further ado, let's have a look at the shortlist and see who we will be bringing in. So as some of you have probably noticed, the shortlist is a little bit smaller than it was looking on Friday. I have decided to get rid of some players who I just didn't think suited the team right now. Also, some of the players that we've kept are more for future seasons as opposed to right now. The likes of Martinez, Carreras, Manu, Adam Wharton as well. We won't be signing them right here, right now, but they definitely are players I would like to get in the future. So in terms of a right back, I think El Ouadi is the guy who I want to go for. Hopefully, again, I'm pronouncing his name right. But 77 rated right now, he would become our highest rated right back. He's got 83 potential, so decent potential to start with, but we've seen it time and time again over the years how players can exceed that with dynamic player potential. Then for a left back, we have this Belgian player right here, Joaquin Says. He is initially a right back, but of course he is left footed, so we can convert him. He, at the moment, if I am correct, I actually have it right here in front of me, has 86 potential, so he eventually could become the starting left back in the very near future. So he's definitely who I want to go for there. And then in terms of a CDM, I'm a little bit undecided between these two right here, Heze and Adley. Archie Gray, I'm not going to remove him just yet because he's definitely somebody I wouldn't mind going for in the future. But for right now, I think we need somebody who's higher rated than both Eric Bunham and also Gay. And these are the two that I am looking at. I'm slightly leaning more towards Yassine Adley. Again, former PSG player, former AC Milan player, currently playing out in Saudi Arabia. It would be kind of cool to bring him back to Europe and maybe reignite his career. He was very highly rated back in the day. His potential at the moment is an 83, so not terrible, but again, I'd love to see him to be able to exceed that. And Hezi, I don't know, I'm just not completely sold on him. His physical stats are fantastic, decent defending as well, but there's just something about bringing Yassine Adley back to Europe, that just really, really appeals to me. So the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I feel like maybe I already had made my decision, and Yassine Adley is the one that we were going to bring in. But you know what? We'll do it in order. We'll go from right back down to CDM, and I've actually just reminded myself as well that this is the centre back I'm going to be going for, a free agent. I'm just going to call him Jesus for now because I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce his surname. So Jesus is the man we're going to be going for as a backup centre-back, and Michael Keane is somebody that I will be selling in this January transfer window. So without further ado, lads, let's get into it. El Ouade, he's worth 13.5 million, but the board are saying that we might have a chance with an offer around 14.6 million. So let's see what Genk say. We've had some trouble with Belgian teams over the years, but hopefully this will be one of our more favourable battles with them. Let's see what they have to say. So I'm slightly tempted to actually just offer the market value, but they may storm out if I do that. So you know what I'll do? I'll go with 14. We'll start with 14 million, so it's just over his market value, and let's see what Genk have to say about that. So they've accepted that, but as you can see there, I don't know if we're going to have the financial means to pull off signing all these players if this deal goes through here. That would leave us with about 18 million. But again, there's a couple of players who could be leaving, so that is always something to keep in mind. But look, this is, I think, more of a priority. CDMs, at least we know we'd have Irig and Gay until the end of the season. So if we don't get the likes of Yassine Adli here straight away, it's not the end of the world. But let's go in and get Zakaria El Ouade's deal confirmed. So he wants important first team player. That's completely fine. Let's see. Contract length, we'll offer him 5 years. That should be okay with him. Yes, it is. We'll disregard the release clause. And then when it comes to wages, he's currently on 18.5 in Belgium. We'll offer him a bit of a bump, 25 grand a week, and maybe a small signing on bonus as well, just to sweeten the deal. Is he happy with that? Yes, he is. We have signed a new right back. Welcome to the Hill Dickinson Stadium, Zakaria El Ouade, someone who I've never used in career mode before, but I'm very excited to use him here for the first time. And yeah, that's the right back position sorted. Lovely stuff. So that leaves us with about 18 million left to spend, which makes me wonder if we'll have enough for the rest of the players on the shortlist that we want to sign. Initially, I was going to do it position by position, but now I kind of feel like I should probably go in for a CDM sooner rather than later, because I feel like that's more of the priority than a left back. So Adli is the one we've decided to go for. Okay. The team will not sell this player as he is too important for the club. I didn't actually know that. Oh, that's a little bit disappointing. I would have loved to have brought Yassine Adli back to Europe and revived his career, but it looks like that's not going to happen, which means that maybe Santiago Hezi is the player that we go for. But again, we have to offer around 21.8 million. So I don't actually know if we're going to have the means to pull that off. Archie Gray, I mean, he's around the same rating as Irig Bunam. I just don't know if I want to get somebody who is basically the exact same as what we have. He is obviously a bit younger, probably has a bit more of a decent potential than Irig Bunam does for that reason. But yeah, that's kind of stumped my plans here a little bit. I might actually have to hold off on a CDM for the time being. You know what? I am going to go in for Joaquin Says. May as well. He's worth 8.5 million. They're saying we'd have to offer around 9.2 million. I'm not going to pay the release clause. I might actually offer his market value and just see what they say to that. So he's worth 8.5. Let's offer 8.5 and let's hope they don't storm out of the room. Let's see what they have to say here from Club Brugge. Oh, interesting. They want Irig Bunam. 5.1 million plus Irig Bunam. That's obviously not going to suffice. So let's go with slightly above his market value. We'll go 9.2 million. See what they say to that. And thankfully they've accepted it. So Joaquin Says look like he's also going to be coming to Everton as well. Let's get him sorted. So we'll go rotation. He will be a backup for Mikalenko on that left-hand side. 5-year deal. That's perfect. Same as El Ouade. No release clause. Absolutely suits us down to the ground. And we'll give him a slight increase in his wages. 20 grand a week. Signing bonus. We'll give him 50 grand signing bonus. Let's see if he's happy to accept that. And move over here to the blue half of Merseyside. Yes, he is. Alongside his agent, Ellen DeGeneres there. Welcome to Everton. Joaquin Says, our new backup left back. And you know what? Since he's a free agent, let's just get the signature of Jesus as well. 25 grand a week is what is recommended. That is what we are going to offer. Let's see if Ellen will be kind enough as well this time to just accept this. Yes, she is. Welcome to Everton, Jesus. Orozco Shikiti. Definitely mispronouncing that, but whatever. Let's just call him Jesus, as I say. And we have our backup centre-back. So we have now thrown our new signings into the squad. Eluade there, slotting right in there at right back. We've got Says there on the bench. We are currently converting him over to a left back. And Jesus there, a reserve defender, 74 rated, 23 years old. Hopefully he has quite a decent upside. The CDM position though, as you can see, does remain the same. Ireg Bunham there in the starting 11 with Gay on the bench. And I think that might be how I leave it for the rest of this season. It's a little bit disappointing that we don't really have the funds to pull off a new CDM transfer. I did have a look at the free agents as well, which I don't want to use too much because I just think it's cheating to use the free agents all the time. But I did have a look just out of curiosity. There really wasn't anybody there that I felt was suitable enough to take over this starting CDM position. And Eric Bunham has actually done quite well since we put him into that position over Garner for the last few games. So I might just leave that the way it is for now. But we did have that unexpected event come up to say that we're not going to have any of our transfer fee, or transfer funds I should say, carry over into the summer. So I'm trying to see if there's any other area of the pitch I want to address. The only area of the pitch I can think of improving is maybe getting a backup goalkeeper, and that technically that's improving the bench, not the pitch, but you get what I mean. Mark Travers, I used him in a League Cup game against Leicester. He really didn't feel like he was all that good. 10 ratings lower than Jordan Pickford as well. And something that's actually just popped into my head is an idea to raise some funds for a CDM. And that would be, if we sold Mark Travers, we've got Michael Keane already on the transfer list. Maybe looked at bringing in a free agent backup goalkeeper and see how much money we have then to bring in a CDM. That actually might be something that I do. You know what? Let's actually go and do that. So if I go over here to the squad hub, go over to Mark Travers, he's worth about 3.2 million. He has only joined Everton in real life in the last transfer window, I should say, but we are still allowed to transfer list him. Let's do that. We'll add Mark Travers to the transfer list. Michael Keane, as I say, is already transfer listed as well, 1.7 million. So it may not raise an awful lot of funds, but we'll see how much it gives us, and we'll also see then if we have money to bring in another CDM. And now for the first time in this episode, we get into some gameplay. It was Brentford at home to kick things off. And finally, Jack Grealish has scored his first goal in an Everton shirt in this series. It only took him 20 Premier League appearances to get there, and it's a really good finish as well from the man we have on loan from Man City. I don't know if I want to permanently sign him. I really don't know if I've been that thrilled by Jack Grealish in this career mode, but let's see. If he has a good second half of the season, we might change our minds on that. There wasn't really an awful lot of chances after this from either team. Jordan Henderson had a chance here, which I think actually hit the post if memory serves me correctly. The crossbar, I should say. So the former Liverpool captain coming very close to equalising here against Everton. But thankfully, in the end, we were the ones who actually got the second goal. Tierno Barry, with his 9th Premier League goal of the season, was enough to put us 2-0 up here and seal the first 3 points of the episode. So up next, it's another home game, this time up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. They are down in 19th place at the moment, so I feel a bit comfortable making a few changes. Tarkowski comes in for O'Brien, Says getting his very first start there at left back, Dibbling out on the right hand side, Alcaraz and Beto come in as well. We do have an FA Cup game after this, and I am taking the FA Cup very seriously this season. Of course we want to win it, end Everton's 30-year plus trophy drought, but let's see with this quick sim game if we can get 3 points up against Wolves. No, we don't. It's a 1-1 draw, and Beto gets sent off on his first start in quite some time. Jack Grealish with 2 goals in 2 games now. Hopefully this is the start of a very good goal scoring run for him, but that was a late equaliser after Wolves took the lead in the 15th minute, so a big result for them, but a bit of a disappointing result for us. And Michael Keane has been sold. He will be joining Sunderland. I think it was around 1.8 million is what we ended up accepting from the Black Cats. But the former Everton centre-back makes his way out of the club. And we do receive a decent chunk of change from him as well. Yeah, 1.8 million. Decent offer from Sunderland. I was happy to accept it. Best of luck to Michael Keane up at the Stadium of Light. But now it's time to play the first full game of the episode, and probably the only full game of the episode, lads, because I mainly do want to focus on transfers. But we kick off our FA Cup campaign here up against West Ham United. So not the easiest draw, but I wouldn't say the toughest draw either. There's definitely tougher teams we could have drawn, but one of the goals, of course, we had this season is to end Everton's 30-plus year trophy drought, and of course we would love to do that by winning the most recent trophy that they won, which is the FA Cup. So hopefully we can get off to a good start here against the Hammers. Looks like they've got a pretty strong team. Of course, they have just sacked Graham Potter in real life, so it'd be very interesting to see how West Ham get on in real life now under a new manager. It's kind of crazy when you think of Graham Potter. He was so highly touted at Brighton, didn't quite work out at Chelsea, and now it hasn't really worked out at West Ham either. And speak of the devil, there he is. Hopefully there won't be any face swapping in this. That's a terrible pun, but it was the only thing I could think of in relation to that trend at the moment with Graham Potter being in the face swapping images. It's really, really strange. But anyways, let's hope we can get the victory here. And we just saw Kai Rooney being focused on there. There has been some interest from Barcelona, apparently. So, look, I don't want to sell Kai Rooney in this first season. Ideally, wouldn't want to sell him at all. But it'll be very interesting to see what type of offers we get for him as this series goes on. West Ham looking to get off to an early attack here. But that goes out for a throw-in. I did decide to start Mikalenko in this game. I have thought about bringing in Joaquin Says to give him his first start, but I wanted to go with the strongest team possible. Beto is suspended, of course, but he would have only been on the bench anyways. It does mean that Dwight McNeil gets to be back on the bench for the first time in quite a while. And here's Elouadi, who did do really well in that game against Brentford. He really did. He's gone on a good run here, and he wins the corner. Positive start there for us here on this right-hand side. Joe Turrell giving some instructions there on the side of the pitch. Apologies as well, lads. I have a little bit of a sore throat, and it's not because I'm feeling sick. Let's just say it was a good weekend. That's all I'll say. But anyways, Dewsbury Hall is going to whip in this corner. In towards Jacob Bryan. Oh, I thought it had gone in. I thought it had snuck in there from the Irishman. He wins a lot of headers in this game. But he very rarely hits the target, unfortunately. But he came very close that time. Did score a header in the League Cup against Manchester United. What a goal that would have been if it had gone in. Here's Juve now. Dewsbury Hall tracking back here. And gives away the throw-in, I should say. Fulkrug into Earthy now. There hasn't been a lot of first-half goals in this series. I wonder will that trend continue today. Thankfully, Jacob Bryan keeps West Ham from scoring a first-half goal in this game. Out to Jack Grealish, who's in good goal-scoring form at the moment, which is great to see. Here's Barry, our top goal scorer. Cuts it back for Dewsbury Hall. Eric Bunham looking for Rooney. It's still going to find Kai Rooney, who does give Everton the lead here in the FA Cup. Brilliant finish from the son of former Manchester United and Everton player Wayne Rooney. And again, lads, there has been a couple of comments as of late. In every series that I do, I like to have one created player. We call them Easter egg players. And I like them to be related to either the club or at least the city of the team that we're doing the career mode with. So that's why Kai Rooney's in this squad. And he's gotten a very good goal here. Gets our FA Cup campaign up and running with a really good finish. Graham Potter's stress does not evaporate in this career mode as we take the lead here against West Ham United. They have gone with a 5 at the back formation. When I saw that before the game, I was a little bit concerned. But it's not giving us too much trouble here at the moment. As Jared Branthwaite looks to intercept that off Jared Bowen, and he nearly did. Oh, there's a bit of a gap at the back though. It's Fulkrug. But thankfully the defence does well there. And it ends up back in the arms of Jordan Pickford, who I've been very, very happy with in this series. I wasn't sure what to expect with Pickford, but he has made some big, big saves. Now, it helps that the goalkeepers are a bit overpowered this year. But still, 84 rated for a keeper is not bad to have in the squad. But I'm definitely interested in getting a better backup. Mark Travers, as I say, fan of him in real life, of course, being Irish, but I don't really think if anything was to happen to Jordan Pickford, I'd be that confident in the reserve options we have at the moment. So it is something we'll look into, and we'll see if we get any offers for Travers. None as of yet. Michael Keane was actually the only player we got any permanent offers for. A couple of young players did receive loan offers, but I won't show you all of them. I'll just show you those when they officially go through. So we'll see what happens when it comes to a backup player in between the sticks as Dewsbury Hall loses it. I feel like a broken record saying this, but bloody hell, we've lost the ball a hell of a lot in this career mode, but West Ham give it right back to us. Here's Eric Bunham now. Will we get a new CDM in this January transfer window? Remains to be seen. Look, if we do, great. If not, I'm fairly comfortable with the options we have, and I don't mind waiting till the summer. But since we had to spend all of the money in this transfer window, I thought it would have made sense. But if we don't have the budget to get the player that I want, then I'm not going to buy a player just for the sake of it. But we'll wait and see how the funds are looking, and hopefully we might be able to bring in an extra player in that position. But our new right back is doing really well, both going back and going forward. Can we get another opportunity here to go 2-0 up before the end of the half? Here's Barry into Rooney again. Kai Rooney. Oh, what a goal! A carbon copy of the first one. A very familiar celebration there as well. And we do take a 2-0 lead here right before the halftime break. Excellent strike there from the young Englishman. I hate these POV cameras. Even though, okay, I was going to say this isn't the worst one I've seen, but it still wasn't great. This is a much better angle. Barry with the assist. Rooney slaps that one into the top corner. No goalkeeper in the world is saving that. And we double our advantage here 3 minutes before half time. I really do think we can go on a good cup run this year, and I really do think we can win it. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here in the first round of the first half, I should say, of the third round of the FA Cup, but I just have this feeling. My gut is telling me we're going to do it this year. And this is the perfect start to that journey. Great interception there again. Yeah, I think money well spent when it comes to El Ouadi, as the ball originally went out for a throw in, but the referee blows the halftime whistle. 2 brilliant goals from Kai Rooney have given us a 2-goal advantage here going into the second 45 minutes. Let's finish the job now in the second half. So we kick things off here in the second half. 2 goals to the good. Definitely been the better team as well. I'd love to get Kai Rooney that hat-trick though. So let's see if we can do that. I wouldn't mind getting this man a goal either, Jack Grealish. If he can have a good second half of this season, we may consider signing him permanently at the end of it. But regardless of whether we sign Grealish or not, we definitely do need to sign somebody on that left-hand side, considering he is only on loan. Can he do something spectacular? Here, Grealish! Not the worst effort in the world, but didn't trouble the goalkeeper too much. And it does go out for a goal kick. But I will be playing a lot of FA Cup games once we don't bottle this game here. I will be playing a lot of FA Cup games as the full games of episodes because, as I say, the goal is to win it. And hopefully we can do that here. And as I say, get off to this perfect start in the third round, which so far we are doing. El Ouadi now playing Eric Bunham. Barry. Come on, let's try and find Rooney. Oh, he's a bit too far away. Oh, I definitely overplayed that, trying to get him the hat-trick. Good save by the keeper, but we do get a corner kick here. I'm not going to put Dewsbury Hall in it. Let's come over and put Jack Grealish on it. If we get a penalty, Kai Rooney is definitely taking it as well, by the way. Oh, it's a terrible corner in the end. That's another thing. Corners this year. It's either a case of Jake O'Brien gets on the end of it and heads it wide, or the keeper just comes out and catches it. No in between. Very rare that anything else happens. There's Jared Bowen now out to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's got the better of Mikalenko at the moment. Oh, and West Ham have pulled one back. It's Nicholas Füllkrug with half an hour to go. He's halved the deficit here. And he makes it a very, very interesting final half an hour or so. Okay, that is not what we were hoping for here in this second half. It's a great run by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Gets away from the defender. Jake O'Brien caught napping there at the back. And Pickford unable to keep it out. And West Ham are right back in this game. Am I going to rue that chance we had there with Kai Rooney just beforehand, where we probably could have finished it off with Barry? I was a bit too concerned about getting this man the hat-trick. I'm not going to focus on that now. Here's NDI though. NDI! Oh, good save. Another opportunity to go 3-1 up. Dewsbury Hall, I might just leave him on this corner because Grealish's last one wasn't great. See what I mean? In towards O'Brien! Oh, but he scores this time! I was just going to say it. You see what I mean? It's in towards Jake O'Brien. He's going to head it wide. But just like he did against Manchester United in the League Cup, he scored against West Ham United with a header here in the FA Cup, right after he was caught napping at the back. He's put us back in front by 2 goals, and it's a really good header to do so as well. My cousin, the man from Youghal, former Crystal Palace and Cork City player, and Leon player as well, of course, with a really good, powerful header there. Keeper ended up in the net as well as the ball. And with 25 minutes to go, we've got that 2-goal cushion again. And has that put us into the 4th round of the FA Cup? I tell you what, it ain't over till it's over. Gotta watch this man here, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Here's Jared Bowen now into Earthy. Nicholas Fulkrug, who already has scored 1 for them. It's definitely been one of the more open games I've played of FC26 so far. We've got a game against Aston Villa up next, away from home, so it doesn't get much easier. Good header away there by Branthwaite, I think it was, or was it O'Brien? One of the two. Right, I'm going to use this opportunity to make some changes. Grealish is a bit tired. Haven't played McNeil in a while, so we'll take him off. Alcaraz can come on as well. And we'll give Says a game again. Might speed up his transition from right back to left back as well. Give him the final 20 minutes of this FA Cup tie. And hopefully we can see it out. But here is the 3rd goal scorer, Jake O'Brien. Really good header there from the Irish centre-back. A man who, you never know lads, could be a future captain in this series, all going well. But he's definitely somebody who I really hope can get beyond his starting potential, which I think is 81. Hopefully dynamic player potential can kick in and he can become an Everton legend. There's Alcaraz now. Well, a 4th goal you really feel like would seal it. It's going to be offside. It's going to be offside. Deflected back off Kai Rooney. And West Ham will get the free kick here. Hermansen will clear it away. Just want to get one more goal here just to calm a few nerves. Although with the clock ticking down the way it is, I wouldn't be expecting West Ham to get into it. But stranger things have happened on this channel. So better safe than sorry. Alcaraz, Barry, blocked. Alcaraz is offside as well. Oh, just does not want to go in for us. Let's bring on Tyler Dibbling for the final 10 minutes as well. NDI can come off. That's one thing I'm going to have to start looking at when signing players as well. Their stamina. Elouadi, in fairness, has I think 91 stamina. It's definitely something I'm going to have to look for more in the players that we want to bring in. Because a lot of the players we have now seem to get tired very, very quickly. So it's something we will have to keep in mind when shortlisting any potential signings. And that's another reason. I know I mentioned it in the first half, lads, but as you can tell, my throat is hanging on for dear life here. So that's the only other reason why I'm not going to play another full game in this episode. Here's Kai Rooney now. Couldn't cut it back. Trying to close down the keeper. Seen it happen a couple of times in this series already. Keeper goes to clear it and it ends up hitting off the opposition player. Say's looking to go in with the tackle there. But as we approach stoppage time, it looks like we've sealed our path in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Let's stop West Ham from pulling another one back. Can we get Rooney the hat-trick? It's now or never. Here he is. Here's Barry, who already has scored a hat-trick in this series. I thought Rooney was going to make the run. He doesn't, but we still have it. Come on, don't blow that whistle, ref. Do not blow that whistle. Rooney! 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 Oh, it's a good save. We do get the corner kick. Go on, let's bring on Gay for the last minute. We haven't played him too much lately. He's not going to have many more appearances in his career. So we'll try and give him as many as possible. Let's whip this one in. I don't think Kai Rooney's going to be anywhere near it, but Jake O'Brien will be. Keeper catches it, but it doesn't matter. A 3-1 win for us here in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. We beat West Ham. We march on into the 4th round. And our quest to end Everton's 30-plus year trophy drought has gotten off to a fantastic start. So we did receive an offer here for Beto from Club Atletico worth £7 million. I'm going to counter offer though. The chief executive said that we could get up to £8 million for him. That would bring the budget up to £17 million, so a healthy amount. And of course, Mark Travers could be leaving as well. Haven't quite received an offer for him yet. But let's see what Atletico say. Will they be willing to accept £1 million more? No, they stick with 7. Okay, it's not the end of the world if we don't get the 8 million. If we do have to sell him for 7, that's not too bad. But I'm going to try 7.5 and see what they say there. Try and get every penny that we can. And they stick with 7. So they say that's their final offer. Do you know what? Let's just accept that. I'm not going to risk the talks breaking down. Hopefully this deal can go through and we can get that money for Beto. And now we have received a transfer offer here for Mark Travers. 1.4 million plus Gabriel Piccini from Pizza, which obviously I'm not going to accept. They're saying we can get up to 4.85 million for him. So let's go in and negotiate, see if we can get that offer up to its maximum amount. So 4.8, will the Italian club be willing to accept that for our backup keeper? Yes, they will. Lovely stuff. So between this and the offer for Beto, we may have enough for a CDM after all. And Beto's deal has gone through. He has joined Independiente, or Club Atletico, whichever way you want to call it. He has joined them for 7 million. We get an 8 as well for the transfer, but most importantly, we get some more funds into the budget. We get a big victory here on the road in our next game, but it didn't get off to the best of starts. Jake O'Brien here giving away a penalty in the opening 25 minutes here at Villa Park, getting a yellow card for taking out Morgan Rogers there. Completely mistimed it. Listen, there was no complaints there. I had nobody to blame but myself. And Ollie Watkins was the man to step up from 12 yards. But Jordan Pickford, who I've been so praiseful of in this series, saves this penalty, guesses the right way, gets down where he needed to go, and he stopped Villa from taking the lead here in the first half. Villa basically dominated the rest of the game right up until this point here, when NDI on the counter scores a really good goal here, only his second league goal of the season, and it all came from a chance where Villa very nearly actually went 1-0 up. The highlights doesn't show that opportunity, but it was another very big save from Jordan Pickford. And as I said, this was completely against the run of play. I still don't understand how Villa weren't 2 or 3 up at this point, but hey, I'm not complaining. After this then, Rooney, honestly, the highlight doesn't go back back far enough, I should say, but his work to win back this ball in the centre circle and to go on the run that he did, honestly, it was absolutely fantastic, reminiscent of his father in his prime. And then very unselfishly, he decided to square it for Thierno Barry, who is now into double figures here in the Premier League season. 2-0 is what it finished here at Villa Park. A massive 3 points for us in our quest to not only finish in the top half of the table, but also to finish potentially in a European place in the league. And Mark Travers has now also been sold. 4.8 million for him to go over to Italy. They're saying we could have got up to 5.5 million, so maybe we were slightly lowballed. But regardless, it's a decent chunk of change into the transfer budget. Let's see how much money we're left with now, and let's see if we can bring in another central defensive midfielder. So we have just over 19 million left in the budget, which isn't probably enough to sign Adley or any of the other players that we had in the budget. I mean, Adley won't come anyway because the team don't want to sell him. But I am tempted to go in for Archie Gray. Listen, he is the same rating as Eric Bunham, but I do think he will be a very, very good player for us to have in the squad. And I know he has decent potential as well. So you know what? Let's do it. Let's go in and try and sign Archie Gray. And then we might look at a couple of free agents as well for the backup keeper and maybe also a backup striker. I bloody hate this game. I bloody hate this game. The team will not sell the player because he's too important for the club, just like Adley is for his team out in Saudi Arabia. Archie Gray, too important to Spurs for them to let him go. So that is really, really annoying. I'd really come around to the idea of signing Archie Gray, but you know what, lads? I think I might just leave it when it comes to a CDM. I think I'll probably just look for a backup striker now. Annoyingly, this is the guy I was actually going to go for first. He was a free agent, but Getafe have picked him up on a free. But I think we're going to go for a backup striker and a backup goalkeeper, and we can readdress the CDM position in the summer. So I have shortlisted a few players here for backup goalkeepers and for backup strikers. De Wolf, Damon, Velho, Cooper and Rice are the 5 players we've shortlisted for backup keepers. All kind of mid-70s with high 80s potential. So solid backup options for Jordan Pickford if we need to swap out the goalkeeper for whatever reason. And then we have 3 backup strikers, I should say, here as well. In Musa, we have Facundo Coladio, and we also have Luka Jovic, former Real Madrid and AC Milan player. Hard to believe in this career mode we'd be bringing him in as a backup striker for Everton, but here we are. But of course, lads, I would love to hear from you guys as well. Who do you think I should be looking at as a backup goalkeeper and also as a backup striker here? Because those are really the only positions I feel like we need to improve here at the moment. And as I say with the CDM, we can address that in the summer. But before we wrap up this episode, let's have a look at where we are now in the league table. And also, let's take a look at who we got in the 4th round of the FA Cup. 22 games into the Premier League season and we find ourselves in 6th place, only 2 places and 2 points outside of the top 4. That is absolutely incredible. I never expected us to be in this position here at this point in the season, but here we are. Can we pull off a miracle and get Everton to finish in the top 4 for the first time since 2005? Look, I'm still not expecting it. I don't know if we have quite enough just yet to get into the Champions League, but hey, we're going to give it a mighty go, and who knows, stranger things have happened. If Leicester can win the league, Everton can finish in a Champions League place. But look, the goal at the start of the season was to finish in the top half of the table, and we are more than on course to do that. Tottenham, they're down in 10th, but we're 8 points clear of them as they're on 32 points, and of course we are on 40 points. Let's have a look at the FA Cup as well, the 4th round of that competition. We will be taking on Sheffield United away from home. So we do face a Championship side in the next round of the FA Cup, and that's another reason why I'd like to sign Cooper as the backup goalkeeper. It would weaken our next opponent in the FA Cup. But lads, that will do it for this episode of the Everton Career Mode. So just before I wrap things up though in this episode, there is something that I just wanted to very quickly address. Look, a lot of you who are regulars here on the channel, you'll probably already know what I'm about to talk about, so feel free to end the episode here. But there are just a couple of comments and a couple of messages I want to address before wrapping up this episode. So something, lads, I just wanted to very quickly address before the end of this episode is some of the comments and messages I've gotten about doing another Celtic series. So if you're new to the channel, basically last year, the first career mode we did in FC25 was with Celtic, and it was a really, really fun series. It's still my most successful series on the channel. It's the most viewed, most liked, and I would say that a good chunk of my subscribers came from that career mode. However, since that career mode has finished, I have mentioned on numerous occasions that I don't do the same team in back-to-back games, and also there would be no Celtic career mode probably for quite a few years. And that's not because there's any animosity towards Celtic, it's because the series was so bloody good. I feel like if I did it again too soon, it wouldn't hit the same. Now, I have made a whole video talking about this. I've also made a video announcing the 3 teams that I was going to be doing in FC26, and yet I still find that there are a loud minority of people, whether it's in the comments or whether it's in Discord messages or Instagram messages, asking about a Celtic series. Just to clarify this again, lads, there will be no Celtic series in FC26. And just to kind of piggyback off that as well, there will be no back-to-back teams from any club in any series that I do. There'll be no Manchester United career mode this year. There'll be no Montreal career mode this year. And we did both those teams as well in FC26. And I guess something else I need to address there is that, Celtic aren't my favourite team. I know why some people jumped to that conclusion when they saw that series and they heard my accent. You might think you're putting two and two together and thinking, oh, this guy's a Celtic fan and this is a Celtic channel. I'm not, and it's not. Of course, I have a soft spot for them, as I say. Being an Irish football fan, I do have a massive soft spot for Celtic. But I don't think it's fair to expect me to do a career mode with the team every year that I don't actually support in real life, in the sense of they're not my favourite team. Again, it's a loud minority of people who are saying this. And I don't want this to come off as me being angry or me being ungrateful for the Celtic series. I'm eternally grateful to everybody who supported that series and gave the channel the boost that it really needed at that time. But I have, as I say, mentioned on numerous occasions, we won't be doing Celtic or any team in back-to-back games. If that means that you don't want to watch the rest of my series and the Celtic series was the only one you were interested in because it was Celtic, I completely understand that. Listen, the type of entertainment you want to watch, that's up to the consumer. But I just feel like we're having this conversation more and more again. And, when you're leaving comments like that and you're not really interacting with the current series that I'm doing, it does kind of hold the channel back in certain ways. If I did Celtic again this year, lads, it wouldn't hit the same. The reason that Celtic series, at least in my opinion, did so well is because my heart was fully in it. Now, the support I was given on that series, I cannot put into words how thankful I am for that, because that definitely helped as well. But if I did Celtic again in this game, my heart just wouldn't be in it, lads. I would feel like I'm doing it because I have to do it and not because I want to do it. And I never want to do any series where I feel like I'm doing it because I have to. It definitely would translate to the audience that I'm not enjoying it. I'm loving this Everton series. I'm very excited for the upcoming series that we have as well. The Create Club career mode in the MLS, the Cork City Road to Glory, which I'm super excited for. Those are series that I genuinely feel like if you enjoyed the Celtic series, you can enjoy these series as well. So look, I just wanted to get that out there. Again, I don't mean to come off ungrateful. I don't want to come off like somebody who's being dismissive of the Celtic career mode, but there will be no Celtic series in FC26. To be honest, lads, there probably won't be a Celtic series in FC27, maybe not even FC28. With something like career mode, there's so many different types of saves you can do. There's so many different types of challenges. I want to experience as many of them as possible. So just to further kind of expand on that, I'm not saying there'll never be a Celtic career mode again. I did see somebody comment that, responding to me saying, oh, I understand that you'll never do Celtic again. I'm not saying never, I'm just saying it won't happen for quite some time. But that goes for any team I've done, whether that's Oxford in FC24, Celtic as I mentioned, Manchester United, Montreal, even the teams we're doing this year. You won't see them again on the channel for a very long time. As I said, I want to experience as many different challenges as possible, and yeah, that is that. So look, I really hope this has set the record straight. I really hope now we can nip that in the bud. Regardless of whether you subscribed from that series, from any other series I've done, I massively appreciate it, lads. Don't take this as me getting angry. This is just me wanting the channel to move on and wanting the channel to be the best channel that it can be. And I really do feel like the best way to do that is by doing as many different series as possible. But lads, that will do it now for this episode of the Everton FC26 career mode. If you did enjoy it, please do hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel as well. We are getting closer and closer to 700 subscribers. I would love to hit that before the end of this series. Thank you all so much again for tuning in, and I will talk to you all on Wednesday for the next episode of the Everton career mode. Take care.